Okay folks, we're back. Jim Johnson here with you. So what we have today is we're going to make up focaccia bread. I like to bake, I like to make different things, but today we're going to make the focaccia bread just because I like the texture of it, I like the flavor of it. It's going to be very, very easy to make. We're going to show you a quick and easy recipe. We're going to start out with all these ingredients, very few ingredients. If you ever notice when I cook, I don't use a lot of ingredients. People hate those recipes where there's 42 ingredients. You got to run to the store and you buy $8 worth of something. You only use a half a teaspoon. I'm not into all that. I'm into using everyday ingredients that we can have, that we're going to have around the house every day. But I also don't want to use a lot of ingredients. You know, with my background and everything, remembering a lot of ingredients is not a good thing for me. So we're going to make sure that we don't mess up. And so today we're going to start out with, have you noticed I'm using my hammer style bowl? This is a hammer style bowl. You can go to the website and you can see all this. I like this because it's double walled. Kind of like those new coolers and everything, the glasses and everything that you get, because it's an airspace in between it. It's double wall with an airspace in between. So if I'm doing, say for example, we got an outdoor barbecue and I want coleslaw, I can put ice cubes in this 30 minutes ahead of time, dump the ice cubes out, the inside's cold. I can put my coleslaw in it, take it outside, and it's going to stay colder much, much longer, and I don't have to do any refrigeration with it. So not only that, but if I were to put ice cubes in this and leave it sitting on my wife's really nice wood dining room table, I'll never get a water stain. It won't sweat and it won't ever leave a stain on the bottom. So I love these a lot. Now, same thing with hot. I can put hot water in here, pour the water out, pour in my hot baked beans. They're gonna stay hotter longer than my neighbors. So that's how we're gonna make you better than your neighbor. I love them because I can use them for mixing bowls. I can use a mixer in this. This travels around with me everywhere I go, and if you notice, because it's hammered, it doesn't show any scars or anything. Trust me, I've abused this thing more times than one person wants to count, but I'm telling you, I love them. So enough of that, now let's get back to cooking. Got 3½ cups of flour, and we're gonna post this recipe on the website, so you'll be able to go to it and see what it's like. But in the meantime, I got 3½ cups of all-purpose flour. I have 1 1/3 cup of water, and it's warm water, and I have yeast in it. And why do we use warm water? Ideally, you want to be about 110 degrees Fahrenheit on your water temperature, and when you add yeast to it. Too much hot water will kill the yeast. Two things are bad for yeast. One of them's salt, and one of them's hot water. So we want warm water. So we use one of those little packets of yeast, not 1 ounce, but 1/4 ounce. So what's going to happen is we have our water and our yeast. We're going to add the dry ingredients. The fact that we're making focaccia bread, we're going to use some olive oil. And I spill it every time I move it over here, so I put this on a paper towel because for some reason or another I seem to want to wear it more than I want to cook with it. Now we're going to add some salt. Again, too much salt will kill the yeast. So we want to make sure that when we add it, and then we're going to sprinkle it around as we do it instead of just dumping it straight into the bowl. Then we're going to add some sugar. Sugar helps the yeast. So if you want the yeast to grow and do better, you can add your sugar. Sometimes I'll add the sugar to the water, but today I'm adding it separately so that you can see what we're doing. One of the tricks that I like to do is when I make my pizza dough and or my focaccia bread is I use Italian seasoning. So I take Italian seasoning and I add that, because what's better than adding Italian seasoning to the crust than to have Italian seasoning in your crust? Again, trick that's going to make you better than your neighbor. So we're going to take this, we're just going to mix this up. We want it to stay tacky, a little bit tacky, but we want to make a nice dough. Now, off to my side, I have some more water and I have some more flour. So if it gets too tacky, I can add more flour. If it gets too dry, I can add the water to it. And as you can see, this is rolling out really, really nice. So when I make this, the ingredients smell really good. Everybody behind the camera, behind the scenes, they're sitting there going, wow, I can't wait until he gets through with this because it smells so wonderful in the kitchen. You can't smell this at home. But these recipes are so simple, and what I want you to do is I want you to get the recipe, do this, and you will see what I'm talking about. And as you see, it's starting to tack up, stick to my fingers. If it does, all you have to do is take a little bit of flour, and I can take the flour off the bottom of the bowl, or I can take some flour that I have sitting off to the side, and all I have to do is put it on my fingertips, and guess what? It won't stick. Little tip, little trick, and just do it like that, and you're going to work it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and just roll it out. I just want just enough flour on there that it doesn't stick, but yet it's still a little bit tacky. In this case, we're going to move it right over to our pan. And what I do is I use just a little bit of olive oil on my pan. The good thing about focaccia bread, and it has yeast in it, so it's going to rise just a little bit. It can be any shape, any form we want. I like mine a little bit thinner. It's going to rise just a little bit as we go. All right, so we got this. Now because of the yeast, it's going to rise a little bit. So we're just going to come back now, and we're just going to poke holes in it, just like so. And we're going to take our green olives. These are pimento stuffed green olives. Now, if you really want to get better than your neighbor, use the jalapeno stuffed olives. Cut them in half and then stuff them down in here. What we're going to do is we're going to just put them in there like so. We're going to top this with just a little Becky Sue rub as soon as it appears in the picture. But the magic of TV, we're in good shape. Remember I told you all those people that were behind the scenes? I noticed they were getting ready to go to sleep. So what I asked them to do is when I start asking for stuff, they have to wake up and start going to work. So works out really good. Thank you very much, assistant. It takes everybody to make me look good. Actually, I'm not that stupid. Well, let's don't vote on it. So now we've got that. We got the world famous Becky Sue rub. Little shot of that. We're going to go in a 400-degree oven. 10 minutes, we're going to take a look at it, and we're going to see where we are. Okay folks, we're back. You've got the recipe, we put it in the oven, we've taken it out of the oven, and then we brushed it with a little bit of our herb and our olive oil mixture. We've got it here, it's nice and pretty on the serving board. First of all, we're going to take this because now it's just one piece. So for somebody that goes to a buffet, this is going to be perfect because it's all one piece and they have to take it off. So we're going to take this, put it on our cutting board, use our vegetable cleaver. I love my vegetable cleaver just because it has the curved edge a little bit. It's got that nice look to it. I can rock it back and forth, and then we can cut this. So I'm going to come down and we're going to cut it in different ways. Doesn't have to be anything perfect. As you notice, we didn't do it from corner to corner on the pan. We did it the way we wanted to put our touch on it. Why did we do that? Because we can. Second of all, we want to be better than our neighbors. And how do we do that? We do it our way. Everything's going to be easy. Everything's going to be simple. If you'll notice, what happens now is, got a nice crust with it. It's nice thick. It rose up a little bit because it has the yeast in it. The thing I want to talk a little bit about right now is what we do here. I want to make it simple. Very few of our recipes have a lot of ingredients in it. So we try to break it down so that we don't have as many ingredients as you see sometimes where it's got 42 ingredients. So just can't do that. So I want to keep it very, very simple. We're going to do a little value added because we added, what did we do? We added the herbs to our flour mixture so that when we made our crust, we have the Italian herbs inside of our crust. Second thing is we can brush this with butter, Karo syrup. We can do a lot of things to make it show up and be really, really pretty on camera. But I want to tell you, when we get through, everybody gets to sample what we eat. They love what we do. It's not that we're just making it to look pretty on TV. We want it to taste good in your home. So the recipes we bring you, tried and true, tested out, we want them because they taste good and we want you to go out and try them. What makes it good is the fact that we can try the recipes out. We tweak them a little bit, we make them value added, and then we have great tools to work with. Got a beautiful charcuterie board. We've got wonderful, wonderful knives. Love the hammer style knives. We're going to use this again coming up in just a second. But in the meantime, what we have is we have your focaccia bread. We want you to try this at home, and we hope you invite your neighbors because they're going to think you are better than them.